Potential is not actual progress. Thinking about something is not the same as doing it. Results matter, proof matters, execution matters. I just haven't gotten serious yet. Maybe this is actually who you've become. At some point, we have to stop evaluating ourselves based on intention and actually start evaluating ourselves based on behavior. Okay, so if potential isn't the answer, then what is? Welcome back, guys, to the LFG Energy podcast. I am starting today with a 4-part series. So I'll be with you guys on this specific topic of growth, potential, and actually experiencing a breakthrough. And I'm hopeful that anybody, doesn't matter where you are in your career, in life, if you're feeling stuck, if you feel behind, if you feel ahead and you want to stay ahead, whatever it is, that you'll be able to get a lot out of these next 4 weeks. And where we're going to start today is with the word potential and the dangerous side of it. In fact, I think it's one of the most dangerous words in the American dictionary. When you're young, everybody tells you that you have so much potential. Parents say it, teachers say it, coaches say it, your friends might even tell it to you. And it sounds like a compliment. It can be really filling to hear that word and actually fill your cup. But here's the problem. Potential can actually become a drug. You start to fall in love with what you could become rather than what you've actually done or are doing. And that is exactly where this starts to get very dangerous. Now, you might fit into what I'm talking about here. And today's podcast will hopefully be a wake-up call for you. And like I said, over the course of the next few weeks, I'm going to give you a blueprint and a pathway for how to break out of that and not be stuck in it. You also might know a lot of people that are stuck in this, and hopefully sharing this episode with them will be helpful, or you yourself can pass the guidance on. Now, let's first start with what potential feels like. And this is pretty much where the whole dangerous part actually comes into play. This is the manifest of it, because potential can actually feel like progress. Potential gives us credit for work that we haven't even done yet. We will say things like, I could start that business. I could get into shape. I could get that girl. I could get that guy. I could make that money. I could do that thing. Now, maybe you could, but potential is not actual progress. Thinking about something is not the same as doing it. And the scary part of this, and this is why so many people fall into this trap, is that your brain will reward you for simply thinking about it. You'll feel good by thinking about it or attending an event or going to a seminar or a workshop filled with all kinds of hope and anticipation for what you might get done, but then never actually do it. You get excited about the idea, you start to feel productive, but nothing actually changed. Now, I know this personally because I used to be the guy that would go to events, that would go to seminars, that would go to conferences. I would learn a lot, take pages upon pages of notes, fly home with all kinds of hope and optimism, talking about all the things that I'm going to do. And then as soon as I get home, I fall back into my routine. I get overwhelmed by everything else that was waiting for me when I landed, and I never actually get to those things. I call it the New Year's resolution fallacy. Everyone writes them all down with the best of intentions on December 30th or even December 31st. Then they stick them in a drawer on January 1st or 2nd because they're hungover, and they say, I'll get to it. And then 1, 2, 5, 10 months go by. You start to get into Q4 of that next year, and you're like, holy crap, I haven't done anything. But I felt so good on January 1st and January 2nd. The same kind of concept. I've also seen this with athletes that I've coached. These are guys that had incredible potential, so much God-given talent and ability, but squandered it because they made poor choices. And I'll tell you also, guys, having coached and been around a lot of high-performing athletes, and many of you who listen to this podcast come from that world, you know that the one with the most potential is not the one who ends up on the podium. In fact, the most talented athlete was rarely on the podium. And why is that? It's because talent often makes people comfortable. They get complacent. They rely on it. And we've all heard that expression that hard work beats talent. So it's no secret. And here's the humbling part, guys. Eventually, the world teaches us all the same lesson. And that lesson is that the world does not pay you for potential. The marketplace doesn't care about it at all. It rewards proof. And here's an example. Nobody asks me as a certified mortgage advisor how much potential I actually have. They don't even care. They ask instead, what have you done before? What kind of problems have you solved? Can I trust you? It's the same thing in athletics. Nobody cares about your potential or what you could do or how talented you are or how you look in practice. Everybody looks good under the confines of a private gym or in the dark lights when they're training alone in their garage or on the track. But when you're under the brightest of lights, how will you show up? Because at the end of the day, there are no asterisks in life, guys, only scoreboards. Results matter, proof matters, execution matters. But there's another problem with potential that nobody really talks about. And this is truly the part where it becomes dangerous. And that is that potential eventually becomes an excuse. Potential starts to create loopholes. People eventually start to say, I could do that if I wanted to. If I really wanted to go out and start that company, I could do it. If I wanted to make that much money, I could totally do it. Maybe, but maybe not. I just haven't gotten serious yet. Maybe this is actually who you've become. At some point, we have to stop evaluating ourselves based on intention and actually start evaluating ourselves based on behavior, because behavior tells the truth. And without that, you have nothing. Okay, so if potential isn't the answer, then what is? All of us guys have to build evidence. Confidence isn't built by motivation. It's built through actual evidence. You become confident because you keep promises to yourself. You practiced, you showed up, you did hard things, you didn't make or use excuses. Evidence creates confidence, confidence creates momentum, momentum creates results, and that is your exact order. So in closing, guys, maybe the question isn't what is my potential? The better question is, what proof am I creating? Now here's a question for all of you. Ask yourself, where in your life are you still living off of potential instead of actual proof? Are you that person that constantly makes those excuses for why you haven't done something? Or you're always saying, I could do that if I wanted to, or I'm going to get around to doing this. And if that's not you, are there people in your life that do say that? So take stock, guys, of whether or not you're one of those people that has been told your entire life you have so much potential, or you are reminded by people close to you. Maybe you tell yourself, I've got a lot of potential. But if the results aren't actually matching, chances are what we talked about today is going to be the missing link. And that's a pattern I want everyone to be able to break. Now, again, stay tuned because the next 3 episodes are all going to be tied into this. Thanks for listening today, guys, and we will catch you next week on the LFG Energy Podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please take a screenshot of it, share it on social media, or share it with others that would benefit from listening to this episode. And as always, too, we welcome the feedback. I want to be able to create more content and episodes like this that are going to be helpful to you in your life as an entrepreneur, as an athlete, as a human being. Doesn't matter. We just want to move the needle. So again, thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next week.